Hello everyone, it's been a while. I'm currently enrolled in college. I'm taking mythology and psychology. So far I only had one class last week, Friday, which was mythology, and we already have homework, so I'm working on that. But I would just like to share with you some channels that I admire. So if you're wondering where I get my books from, or where I get my recommendations, and what I like to watch on YouTube, then this is the video for you. So I'll be looking at my phone to share the channel recommendations for you. The first one is Gregory B. Sadler. He uploads philosophy videos, sometimes book reviews. That's not his main feature on the channel. He discusses philosophy from Aristotle to Plato to Nietzsche to Hegel, which he does Hegel series every now and then. I talk to him on Goodreads sometimes, and I attend his live stream on YouTube. Although sometimes I don't go because I don't go on YouTube that much, other than debates and YouTube videos from people I subscribe to. The next one is Cosmic Skeptic. He talks about philosophy, he does debates, he's friends with Rationality Rules. He recently did a debate with Lucas Verger on why is God hidden. I like his overall style, not Lucas Verger, but Cosmic Skeptic or Alex O'Connor. He did a video on Ben Shapiro recently, which is good as well. Next we have is J.C. McKay. I attend his Discord channel. It's listed on the bottom of his videos. He does videos on stuff like Michelle Welbeck, the unbearable lightness of being. He has a podcast who used to be with James Bergman, who I'm friends with, and more in touch with James than Gareth. Cody Saxon is also on the podcast. It's called, what was it called? The Bastard Sons of Oedipus, which is a nice name. I don't think I'll come up with a funny name for a podcast as they did. The next is Steve Donoghue. As you know, he does books reviews constantly. He talks about politics sometimes. I commented on his videos and kept in touch with him, with no luck. I'm friends with Bookish, Brian. I don't know if he would consider me a friend, but we talk sometimes, and more recently as well. He does videos on John Milton, Shakespeare, all of the stuff from the Western canon. He has over 5,000 videos, so if you want to binge watch someone's channel, go watch his stuff. As for podcasts, I like Lex Friedman, I like Jordan Peterson, I watch Joe Rogan, although not recently that much. I have heard that he interviewed, what was his name? Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, as you know. I'm not a fan of Mark Zuckerberg, but he was on the Lex Friedman podcast as well. On Lex, you have Andrew Uberman, and you have Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, Lawrence Krauss, who wrote A Universe from Nothing. It's also a video talk on YouTube. It's okay, I read it in high school, but nothing monumental as Richard Dawkins or Eric Newman or Christopher Hitchens. I'm a great admirer of Christopher Hitchens. Sometimes I binge watch his videos, but recently I've been watching the Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson in Vancouver debate on YouTube, which is nice as well. So speaking of Bookish, His name is Brian. He talks about movies sometimes. He likes Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen those. I read The Hobbit, a little bit of it, in high school, but I didn't finish the whole thing. So I'm no Hobbit or Lord of the Rings or Tolkien expert. Although I think Tolkien was a language expert, but I probably misheard. He does Saturday Hodgepodge. Um, he recently did an August wrapped up on September. Another channel I watch on the dark side who does videos on conspiracies and dark twisted stuff, which I do like from time to time. It's called Wendigoon. He did a video on my favorite poet and my favorite poem, John Milton's Paradise Lost. If you haven't read that, you should definitely read it. Another good channel is Tom LA Books. He recently did a reading pet peeves tags. I'm not all that interested in tags. I did maybe Midrash tag with Jason from Old Blues and Chapters and Verse, but I'm not interested in tags. As I said, he did a video on Orlando Furioso. He does a series where he goes line by line on the cantos of the Divine Comedy by Dante, which I do like Dante, but I like John Milton more. There is a comparison to be made between the two. Another channel that I like a lot and has sometimes talks to, although not frequently or in touch with, as with James, is Maxson. He recently did a video on Voltaire's Candide, Did Jesus Exist? 2 library tour videos. He has good taste, by the way. Has to be confident in the Christian faith. I disagree with his religious views, but overall he's a nice guy. Ahead of the Curve, as you all know, if you're fans of J.C. McKay, I'm friends with Ahead of the Curve, and in a discussion we had with James, he mentioned JC, so I checked out JC and ended up liking him. They had a falling out on a recent podcast they did. Let's Talk Religion. They do stuff on Gnosticism and other religions as well, but I don't watch their stuff as much. I attended his recent live stream if you're interested in that. Cinemacrest Studios. He did analysis videos of True Detective, which I am obsessed with True Detective. There is a new season with Jodie Foster and someone else who I'm not interested in really that much. Some woman I don't know the name of, but it should be good. Although it doesn't have Nick Pizzolatto, the head writer or creator of True Detective. Better Than Food was the OG YouTube creators I followed, although not much anymore. He does videos on Michelle Welbeck, Yukio Mishima, Adam Lehrer, Raymond Chandler, Cormac McCarthy, who I am obsessed with, and he is my favorite author, William Faulkner, Ernest Hemingway, Scott Fitzgerald. He has good taste. So, he did one recently on Albert Camus, which I only read in high school, of all his works in high school. But besides that, he's an alright guy. KD Books, who recently became in my radars of book channels. He did videos of Salman Rushdie, who recently got stabbed in the eye for writing the Satanic Verses, which Muslims do not like. And it brings questions as to whether Islam is a religion of peace. And I haven't read the Quran, so I can't make a judgment on Muslim or Islam culture as of late. Emmy, she is pretty good. She has okay taste, although I don't follow her channel as much as I used to. She does Everything I Read in August. Should you read those? Try On Clothing Haul, Thrifted Pieces, Simple Retro Dresses, Daily Life in the City book recommendations, Going Home. These are video vlogs, and they're usually 30 minutes. I watch Ben Shapiro sometimes, although I haven't been up to date on his recent podcast. I don't really like politics or people who follow politics because nowadays the tradition is you judge someone based on their politics rather than on their character or their essence if you're not an existentialist and believe in essences. So I don't think you should judge someone based on, oh, they're a Republican, I'm not going to talk to them, or oh, they're a liberal or woke, transgender, LGBTQ plus believers, so I'm not going to talk to them. No, that's not how it should be. You should engage in conversation with people you disagree with on either side and hopefully find common ground if there is such a thing these days. Uber Boreal, they're alright. I hit or miss. They focus on Nietzsche and Young. They're better than most Nietzsche and Young channels. Yeah, not much to say there. Rationality Rules, similar vein as Cosmic Skeptic, they're friends. TREY The Explainer, he does interesting topics. I don't know him personally. Academy of Ideas is my favorite podcast of all time. I follow all their videos twice, which is like 200 videos, 10 minutes. Mostly Nietzsche, some Jung, some Freud, only one discussing in terms of Jung and their disagreement with Freud. Some Adler, some Skinner, some Eric Newman. They have an incredible bookstore on Amazon, on their website, if you want to read good books on philosophy, politics, and religion. Eternalised, similar as Academy of Ideas. Jonas, Cieka, he did a video on how Jordan Peterson does not understand postmodernism. I am a fan of Peterson, but I do not know postmodernism that much, and I know that Peterson disagrees with postmodernism, such as Derrida or Lyotard, or some of the, I don't know if there's a difference between literature, postmodernism, and philosophical postmodernism, which probably goes to the extent of my knowledge of philosophy in general. I mostly read existential Greek and Eastern philosophy. I don't know why I drew a blank on that. Logan Albright, he's alright. He's an alright guy. He has a Nietzsche beard, which is interesting, to say the least. He does videos on Faulkner, Melville, and other stuff if you're interested in Western canon types. Like Stories of Old, it's good video essays like Academy of Ideas but longer. Read Great Books 907, he used to do videos on Jordan Peterson's reading list. S.F. Walker, he did a video on Carl Rogers on Becoming a Person. Dopamine Nation by Dr. Anna Lim. He did a video on Sartre, which I'm trying to find where it is. He did a video on Beyond Nothingness. He is an interesting guy and well read. Drunzo has great taste. He's also one of the OG channels I watched with Better Than Food. Better Than Food and Roger Maxson and Drunzo. He did Reading Habits, Moby Dick. Moby Dick's alright. It's certainly not bad as my teacher would have it out to be in one of my English courses, but it's not a masterpiece as some of the Western canon, the dogmatic Western canon types would have it. He did a video on Herodotus, which is pretty good. Let Me Know did a video on the Malaysian Air Flight 370. He also did one on Cicada 3301, which I'm obsessed with. So check out them. They're high quality stuff, although they don't upload frequently. TheBookChemist was one of the OG channels I watched when starting out YouTube. It's too late to apologize. Weitgeist, who does videos on Nietzsche, hit or miss sometimes. Old Blues Chapters and Verse, also known as Jason, who I'm friendly with on a texting app that I forgot the name of. I watch Vsauce videos a lot, and I watch Fantano, although Fantano doesn't like Greta Van Fleet, and I didn't initially like Greta Van Fleet, aside from Highway's Tune, but I like them now. Pontus Presents, they're more esoteric and mystical books, and they're kind of more on the book quality itself than the actual book. Zer0 Books is a podcast. I don't agree with them usually, but again, you should be open to different interpretations. Matt's Bookshelf is a friend of Zer0, so if you like Zer0, then you should watch him as well. I like Michael's Sugrue, that's Michael, spelled regularly, Sugrue, who is a professor, who's very good. I watched some of his content on Nietzsche. Melton Books does pretty good quality video essays on the history of the book and the book itself. Jared Boyer, who was from Wisecrack. Wisecrack is alright. I used to be a fan, an avid fan, but I don't go out for their videos, but they're still pretty good. Echoes of Lost Libraries, who I'm friendly with on YouTube, although not recently. Nerve Rider 1, Bishop Robert Barron, who's okay. Clark Ellison, who's a Jordan Peterson type, who used to do a lot of videos on book reviews, but he deleted some of his content. Some of his stuff is liminal spaces. If you're into those, I don't really find those interesting aside from his videos. The Damaging Worship of Internet Aesthetics, which is on, what's that thing that R.C. Walden is into, Dark Academia. That's sort of the dark history, something like that. I'm not into that, but it's interesting. He has good taste in literature, like The Lonely Crowd, which is a sociological book. I like the Rubin Report, although I'm not an avid watcher as, say, Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson or Sam Harris. And I disagree with Sam Harris' political views. R.C. Walden, as I mentioned. Book Review PNW. He does videos on Cormac McCarthy, Sound in the Field, but nothing recent. Most of his stuff is like 2 years ago. Philosophize This is a good philosophy podcast. Absurd Being is a good philosophy channel. I used to be a fan of Vsauce Das, who is a Buddhist. I'm kind of iffy on Buddhism nowadays, but I like to read up on it. Wisecrack, as I mentioned. Red Letter Media. Steven Crowder. Sometimes Steven Crowder, although he is a bit dogmatic these days. Strip Cover Lit, who didn't like The Road by Cormac McCarthy. But it's alright. I didn't mind it. Then and Now, a philosophy channel. So those are my tastes, and if you disagree, feel free to explain why you disagree. And if you like my tastes in general, then subscribe, and if you don't care for any of these stuff, then carry on with your day. And as always, for everyone, have a good day.